So we're at Superbooth 2018 with Alan, AJH Synth. We have to travel to another country to see each other. We all do.
We'll have to stop meeting like this, Ben.
Yeah. Two new modules, Wave Swarm and V-Shape.
That's right. Yeah. The Wave Swarm it's a wave animator. So what we have, it's a 2-channel device, and it's the basic function of it is that it mimics multiple VCOs. So it'll make a single waveform appear as if you have up to six VCOs running per channel.
Huge unison super saw type thing.
That's right. It's it's a super saw, but it'll do a lot of other things as well as.
So with triangles, does it do that kind of almost PWM-y metallic thing?
That's right. Yeah, all of that. So probably the best thing, we actually have a scope here as well, so that you can get an idea of how the animator works. But the basic idea of it is that it makes a single waveform sound like multiple VCOs just by adding a beat.
Big unison effect.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll bring the levels up on that one first. And with that, if I wind everything down, we have in there we have 12 LFOs, all fixed frequency, and all slightly different frequencies to each other. And what we can do, you can see there we just have a basic sawtooth a basic ramp waveform going in, and then if we add one animator first, you get, so that's the equivalent of having two
VCOs just slightly not in sync.
Slightly, that's right, just slightly out of tune, beaten together, and then we can add a third. So that's the equivalent of 3 VCOs, and then we can just start adding the other ones in as well, and we'll get different phase cancellations and what have you going on in there. So that's with a single channel.
So with so many waves stacking up, can you potentially drive this into clipping as well?
Yeah, well the idea is, if we look at the mixer, if you think of that just as being a mixer rather than a module itself, if we take each of the levels up, then it has a soft clip function here, which you'll see the.
Yeah, you can see it square off.
With that, there we are. You see that we're starting to, but it'll actually go into soft clipping. You see it's starting to.
So can we hear that on a non-saw wave triangle maybe?
Put a triangle in, yeah.
It's more like a kind of square triangle hybrid at this point with it clipped.
There you go. That's. You see the soft clipping on the waves there.
So what's the effect on non-droning sources, drums or percussion? Is it kind of a smearing effect?
Yeah. Depends very, very much on the
source.
Input. Yeah. So with that, you can see we're into soft clipping there. You see rounding the tops of the waveform. So what we have here, the dry signal there, that's the actual mix of the source, and we can take that out and it'll still work. And you can see it's just a bunch of turns it into a bunch of square waves, of mixed squares.
It's really nice with effects like that to take the dry out somewhere else in a patch into this, and then say into a reverb. So the reverb's the smeared, detuned version, and the dry is just completely separate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you say it's a dual module. Can it do dual mono or?
It'll do dual mono. So if we look at the second channel, if we just plug that into there, and there's our second channel. As I say, the LFOs are running at a slightly different frequency on the right channel to the left.
So you can create a nice stereo image as well.
That's right. So if we do it as stereo, if the input A is normal through to input B, so there we use an output B. So there's only that module there's in circuit. But if we take the A plus B, that gives us an A and B mix. So that's given us the equivalent of 12 VCOs all working together. We can individually control the levels of each of those to get some pretty big sounds. And then of course the other thing that we can do is we can change the frequency of one against the other.
So 2 inputs are octaves apart.
That's it, yeah. And so we can get some massive drones, going on from the thing.
So that looks like perfect food for the V shape next to it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's probably better to do it the other way around, to put the V shape into the V Swarm. So
Well, I like that kind of shape as kicking out because they're not getting a regular wave.
No, as I say, because all of the LFOs are running at different frequencies. You know, you'll get lots of different beats and lots of different interaction over quite an extended time period. So yeah. Yeah, so with the Wave Swarm, I mean, this was a module that it's actually a friend that came up with the idea and has done the design, and it's a guy called Jorg, and he's been into analog electronics since the 1960s, where he lives in a hidden ancient Egyptian cave in the Grand Canyon, and he does all of his calculations on an abacus and slide rule. That's how analog he is, and so this is just something that he passed to me, and I just did a little bit of development on it and turned it into a finished module.
Right. So usual kind of questions, I guess. Roughly how much is it going to be? When can people expect it?
Price-wise, we expect it to be about the same price as one of our VCOs.
Okay.
So retail UK price somewhere around 245 GBP. Probably about 8 weeks, but that's an AJH 8 weeks. Which
a general modular manufacturer 8 weeks, shall we say?
That's right.
Couple of months or so.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you very much.